Hello, this is Kai, and this video is a continuation of our How to Use the Terminal series. So in the previous video, we went over some basic commands of Linux, and in this video, we'll be extending those commands' functionality. I'm going to go ahead and push Command Space to bring up the Spotlight search, and I'm going to type in terminal, push enter, and I'll zoom in a bit. Alright, so we learned how to do pwd, which will print my current working directory. And we see that I'm in / users Kai Perez. Now it's important to note that in the future, if we were in a directory or a web page where we only see a / as the path that we're in, then that would indicate that we're in the root directory. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and pass in the list command, or the ls, and push enter. And this is the same as we saw in the first video. Nothing new. But we are going to start passing in new commands with this. I'm going to do ls space -a. And if we go ahead and push enter, you see that we now are able to view new files. Or not new, but these files were hidden files that we previously were unable to view without the -a command. Now I'm going to push Control L to clear my screen. But alternatively, I could have typed in clear. So now I'll pass in an ls-al command. Now we can't see the hidden files, but what we can see are the file's permission types in the directory. We'll get a little bit more into what these mean in future videos, but for now we'll just know that these are clustered in groups of 3, and the first cluster means that this is the owner's permission type. He's able to read, write, and execute this file. The second cluster is a specific group's permission types, and they're able to read and execute this file, but not write to it. And finally, we have everyone, and everybody is able to read and execute this file. So I'm going to once again do Control L to clear the screen. And I'm going to pass in both of those commands now. So I'm going to do ls-al, as we see right here. And now I'm able to view all the hidden files in the directory along with their permission types. So that's going to be really helpful in the future. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and clear up the screen. And I'm going to make a file now by passing in nano once again, and then creating a file called test.txt. We'll open it up, and I'll just write whatever. It doesn't really matter what's in this. I'm going to write to it, and then do Control O to write it out, which means that we're saving it, and then Control X to exit out. Now if I pass in ls, we see that new file that I created right there. So I want to talk a little bit more about move. So in the previous tutorial, what we were doing was we were moving this test.txt document and just renaming it to something like test.set whatever .txt. Now if I push enter and then we list it, we see that we no longer have this text.txt, but now instead we've changed it to testset.txt. So what if we wanted to move this file from this directory to a different directory? Well, we can in fact do that by just typing in the file path. So I'm going to do clear, and I'm going to do ls. I want to move this file called test set whatever it is. So really all I need to do is just type in the beginning of it, and if I get far enough and push tab, it should autocomplete. We want to move this, and where do we want to move it? Well, how about we move it to my desktop? So let's move it to desktop. And then I also want to give it a different file name. Well, we could do this by just passing in a new file name. such as test.txt. And now if I push enter, first I'll push ls, and we see that test set a set.txt is no longer in this directory. So if we now cd or change our directory, let me clear the screen, Control L, ls. Now if we cd change our directory to desktop, we should see that if we pass in this ls command that the document testaset.txt was moved to our desktop, but we gave it a new file name of test.txt. And we in fact see that right there. And if we want to pass in that cat command that we learned in the first tutorial and do cat test.txt, we can see that the files within that the contents within that file are exactly the same as they were when we typed it up here. Alright, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up for this tutorial. Make sure you like and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.